yeah, and then, so I didn't stream yesterday. Excuse me. I'll explain that in a minute. So, I'm a little bit late because, dude, I was finishing up eating, and eating is very essential. So, got off at like 6:20ish, 30ish, and got home and ate, and I finished eating now. So I got myself some, okay, so technically I took myself out for a date today, but it was more like a pickup kind of food, and yeah, it was under $30, and this is gonna last me like 3 days. Holy flip, it was amazing. Pizza. There's this $6.99 deal for like a large pizza and 2 toppings. This was the last day to get it. See if there's anything free, because free is fun. Okay, so yesterday I had an eventful day working, obviously, but by the end of the day I was just so flippin' tired that when I sat down, when I got home, I was just like, no, I'm staying seated. So I got tired because so I had to put up the furniture tags, but all of the chairs, all the office chairs, gaming chairs, and like just regular standard chairs that they have, because they have some that don't wheel around. It's just, you see them there, like I guess it'd still be office chair, but it's not one of those rolling ones. But anyways, I was flipping over so many of those damn chairs. I got really tired, and not only did I have to flip them over, but I had to bend over and sit there and punch it into this damn little device so that it could tell me if it was the chair I was looking for. And I tell you what, there were not a lot of the chairs that I was looking for, and there was like some sort of mod, like some sort of planogram that happened with the furniture. I'm just like, just wow. So there, I'm not gonna say that it upsets me. Okay, that would be the way to explain it. So it upsets me that certain things aren't where they're supposed to be. Okay. Excuse me. So what I mean by that, like, I'm not technically an uptight person when it comes to like my stuff being like moved ever so much or whatnot, but if something says when you scan it it's supposed to be in a certain place, and then you have to sit there and get this close to the product and the tag just to see the numbers and everything, the little SKU number for it, which not all those tags actually have. So you have to sit there and read the descriptor of it, and all the descriptors look exactly the same, and you're going through at least 40 to 50 tags trying to look for one item so that you can put it up on the shelf. It's a lot of waste of time. It's too much effort and waste of time. So it kind of irks me a little. So I've been asking the managers if I can, do some of these planograms and everything, because like it's aggravating me. It's very much aggravating me, because it aggravates other people so much so that they just put the product down, and then whenever we have to go through the aisles and make sure things are where they're supposed to be, you're like, oh, a customer probably put this there, and then try finding it. Can't find it because it doesn't have a spot yet, because there's a what's supposed to be in its spot is something that's discontinued. It's no longer in effect, or it is a product that is now supposed to be in spot 45 or spot 300 and something. So yeah, that annoyed me like this much. And I'm just like, I was like, just print me out the labels, let me do this, and everybody's gonna be happy. I am just like, dude, just everyone will be happy. But not allowed to do planograms on like weekends. It's only for like labels and whatnot. But technically, I had to do a planogram because this little pen, it's not really an end cap, it's like right behind the register. This like pen thing, there were price changes on these pens. They went up like a good like 30 cents. Excuse me, I'm gonna be burpy because I ate. And so I got at least like 14 labels for these price changes, and I'm sitting here trying to swap these labels out, and it's this whole little pen thing. Everything's moving this way, or up this way, or down this way, and I'm just like, okay, all right. And then there's so much clearance on it that nothing can quite move where it needed to go, so I had to take some of the clearance off of this pen little display thing, just so I could put the labels where they need to go. And I'm just like, I had to talk to the manager about it, and he was like, well, I didn't know that it was gonna be like that. And I was like, well, I moved the ones that I did get, and they have been repriced, but there are a lot of them that have moved, and I don't know if they're still supposed to be on there. I was like, we're gonna need full-on labels for the rest of these. And he was like, alright, he's gonna tell the other manager whenever, tomorrow or whatever. And he was like, you could probably do it then. And I was like, I don't work tomorrow. And he was like, oh yeah, that's right. And he was like, well, I'll try to get someone to do it, and I'll probably have to do it Wednesday, which is fine. I'm totally fine with it. That's a tiny little thing. It wouldn't take me more than like maybe an hour or two. I mean, I got most of it done already. That probably took me like an hour. I didn't get stopped too many times, but I say like an hour or two because like it's right next to the register, and I'd still have to be on register duty while doing it, so that would... So, I remembered what somebody said today. So I said that like the snow was coming down pretty hard, and someone said, what? And I was like, the snow it's coming down hard. And then she said, well, that's what she said. And I was like, so yeah, it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny. And I mean, it was funny in the moment, but now thinking about it, I'm just like, yeah, it was kind of funny. I'm sorry, I'm just a little annoyed by like stuff that needs to get done that should have been prioritized but hasn't. But I understand why it hadn't been, because they didn't have anyone to do it. But then I'm like, hey, and they're like, oh no, but we need you to do all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, after I get done with this. And they're like, oh, there wouldn't be enough time to blah blah blah. And it's like, all right. So, I mean, if they had, okay, they will have enough people whenever this new associate gets hired on, because it's gonna be not this week but next week coming, I think. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to think. Anyways. Yesterday, so yesterday I got the most horrible craving for pizza, and I had been like craving it on and off for like maybe a week or two, but yesterday I needed pizza, and today I was like, I'm getting pizza, and I had to ask the person giving me a ride if it'd be okay to stop at this place. I was like, before I order it now. And they're like, oh yeah, that's fine. And I was like, fantastic. I was like, I've been craving pizza since yesterday, like super craving, because of one of the associates, tried to make some small talk, and he had asked everybody what their favorite pizza was, and the associate that gave me the ride home had thought that they were going to buy pizza, and they were like, no, I don't really feel like pizza, because he's taking this medication that was making him nauseous and everything, and on top of that, he didn't want the not a lot of people like the, what is it called? He says that the pizza place that I got from today has too spicy of a sauce, and I was like, really? And he was like, I don't know, it just gives me heartburn. And I was like, oh. I was like, that sucks. I was like, this is one of the few ones that actually don't give me heartburn. I was like, I'm not trying to name drop like different companies and everything, but there are three different places that I don't get heartburn at all with their sauce, and one of them is still in Pennsylvania. I don't even know if they're still in business. Well, it was a small pizza shop called 4 Stars. They had fantastic pizza. They always put quite a lot of cheese on it, and it was fantastic. What the hell was that? Oops. So, then there's Little Caesar. Little Caesar doesn't give me heartburn, and Domino's doesn't give me heartburn. Papa John's does. Everybody's just like, oh, Papa John's this and Papa John's that. And I was like, oh. I was like, oh, that's nice, because I can't take their sauce. They're like, oh, but it's so good. And it's like, I'm sorry, I just can't. It's not like I'm like, oh, I hate them because of this or that. They did mess up an order once, but I could sit there and like, it was the person who was doing the order, not the okay, so there was, how they messed it up was that it was totally the wrong pizza at first, and then had to call them back, and then they had accidentally given the pizza that we had to someone else, and then we got their order, and they asked if they could do an exchange, but then the people who got our order had eaten that pizza, and I guess it was better, I don't know, and then they also got the drinks too, and this was in South Carolina, and I was like, alright, well, are you gonna, give us our pizza, because we didn't order this, and we had ordered Mountain Dew and Pepsi, and a nice Pepsi, but I like the Mountain Dew, and we had breadsticks, and flipping, it was kind of like a meat lovers. I think it was a meat lovers, but it had like extra cheese on it, and it was, it didn't come back. I mean, they gave us the same order as the one we just got, and I was like, what the hell? I was like, dude, not only did you mess up and give us the wrong order, but you gave us the wrong order twice. And I was like, I don't want this flipping, like, it was just a regular pepperoni pizza. And I was like, I don't like pepperoni. I didn't like their pepperoni, and like, we ordered the meat lovers with extra cheese, and we didn't get the breadsticks, we didn't get the 2 liters of the pop, and I was like, no wonder why they flipping ate the food. It was a better order than what they had. But yeah, and then they were like, what? And they were like, no, you were this, and we were like, no, we were that, and they were like, but that was the one that we gave to the other one. And I was like, what? I was like, dude. And they were like, oh, do you want a refund? And like, it was like, yeah, we want a refund. And they were like, well, we're gonna have to take the pizzas back. And we just like shoved them at him. It's like, dude, we just, if you can't get it right and you're gonna give us the flipping cheap stuff, it's like, dude, no, flip that. Oh, I had a horrible experience trying to order some, like, Chinese food. It was Number One Kitchen. They specialized in, like, Chinese, Vietnamese, and Thai food, I think it was. But anyways, okay, so not only was it 3 hours late, 3 hours, yes, it was only supposed to be 30 minutes, and I had called back after an hour, and they were like, you got your food, and I was like, no, we didn't, and they were like, oh, hey, look how cute. No, I'm headed the wrong way. But anyways, so they were like, you got your food, and I was like, no, we didn't, and they were like, oh, no, your driver, missed your location, they're going to be coming back, because, like, they put me on hold for a good, like, 10 minutes, and then they sorted that out, and they said that the driver was on his way, and that he couldn't find the place, and I was like, but Yin's had Yin's had delivered to my house before, but yet you couldn't find the place. And they were like, do you want the food or not? And I was like, yes, I do. And then they hung up, and I was like, wow, not even a goodbye or anything? I was like, damn. So I wasn't trying to be snotty or stingy or whatever, or snippy. I thought I had a regular tone to my voice and whatnot, but second time I had the call was like a good, because they said they were coming and they would be there in like 15 minutes. And I was like, okay, that's not that bad. We already waited for like an hour, What's another 15 minutes? So, 15 minutes goes by, and then half hour goes by, and 40 minutes goes by. So I call it the 45-minute mark, and they were like, how would you like to order? And I was like, no, I'm expecting an order, but I was told it was going to be 15 minutes. It's been 45 minutes, and they were like, oh, yeah, sometimes traffic, and I was like, yeah, but it's already this much late. And they were like, when did you make your order? And I explained, and they were like, oh yeah, the driver messed up and blah blah blah. We had to make some more food, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I thought the driver got lost and then decided to because I was just trying to repeat what they had told me previously, that they had got lost and that they had skipped the address so that they could continue on with the rest of their orders. Well, it turns out the driver had given my order to another person as well as their order, and since it was paid for already, they had to make it again. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, now I know what happened. I was like, thank you for telling me the truth. And they were like, oh, no worries, you know. It was like, you eat here, like, often, right? And I was like, well, I order. I was like, maybe once a month, maybe twice. And they were like, yeah, you pay us good. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, you know, we'll get it to you as soon as we can, sorry. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. And then, half hour goes by, and it's like, oh, okay. And I was like, were they coming? Do I need to reorder? I mean, what's going on? And there was a guy who answered again, and he was like, you got your food, stop calling. And I was like, what? And he hung up on me. And then I called back, and I was like, what the flip is going on? And I was like, I paid for my food. I was like, it has been, I was like, 3 hours. I was like, am I ever going to get my food? And they were like, they asked me what my number was, and I told them what my number was, and they were like, oh yeah, okay, there was a mess up, and your food will be there 10 minutes, 20 minutes tops. And they were like, you still want it? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I paid for it. Unless you're willing to refund it, I'll go somewhere else. And they were like, okay. And I was like, are you gonna refund it, or am I gonna get the food? And she's like, you'll get food. And I was like, okay. And she's like, I will call 10 minutes as soon as it's done. She's like, if I have to deliver it myself, I will. And I was like, okay. I was like, I do appreciate that. And she's like, you're welcome. And then she hung up the phone, and I was fine. I was like, okay, all right. So when I got my food, the wonton tasted like someone had put their sock in it and wrung it out. I mean, it tasted like foot. It legit tasted like foot. And everything was cold. I mean, like, super cold. Like, dead cold. Like, somebody put it in a freezer, and then, like, okay, this is good enough to, like, you know, give to somebody who needs everything chilled. I was like, hell no if I'm ever going to order from that place ever again. But the one in Illinois was nice. It was pretty damn fantastic. Yeah, they had a #1 kitchen in Illinois. So I even gave them a tip. I mean, I gave them tips every flippin' time. I mean, it wasn't the most it wasn't the most that I could tip, because, like, I was poor. Well, it was the most I could tip, but it was like maybe $5, $10 for an order of like 20, 25, you know. If I could, I would tip good. But other than that, I wouldn't eat out. So it's just, I felt let down. I felt betrayed. And, like, we couldn't even eat the rice was kind of hard. Yeah, it was It was kind of hard. It was like I had attacked them for not giving me food. And they attacked back because they effed up. Not just once, twice. So I don't know exactly why the person said that I had my food, because I really didn't, and I really wanted my food, really bad. I mean, I wouldn't have ordered it unless I needed it. That's hanky. And plus, I was I think I was entertaining someone at the time too. So not only was it a disappointment for me, but it was a disappointment for them. And they were like, wow, like, does it normally taste like this? And I was like, no. And I tried some of his food, and I was like, oh, this is I was like, no, don't eat this. And I was like, all right. I was like, I'm gonna make us something. And I had to make food. We ordered it for lunch, and then it ended up being like dinner time, you know? It was, eesh. Oh, you punk. And they're coming out again. But yeah, I don't really eat out too much because, like, things might happen. Oh, there was someone I dealt with today, and they thought they were being like a pain and a half to me, and I was just like, no. I was like, I could understand. Okay, so they came over to the shipping area, and I walked over after I was finished with someone at the cash register. I walked over to the shipping area, and I asked, how could I help? And he was like, I need to ship this. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, have you shipped with us before? And he was like, no. Yes, I have. And I was like, okay. And I was like, can I have your number? Because we have it on file and everything. If, you know, we have their number. If they've shipped with us before, it has you put in a number just in case there's any problems with it, that they have contact so that they can call and talk to you, okay? So we use the number to help look them up. So I put in the number, and then went to put in all of the whatchamacallit, and his, like, the cheapest amount was just like $26.97 or something for UPS ground, sorry. And excuse me. And he's like, never mind, I'll use the US postal. And I was like, okay. And he took the package and walked away, and I was just like, okay. So I just clicked out of the screen. I mean, it wasn't any sweat off my back. And then I walked over to the register. I helped another customer, and then he came over and asked a question. He asked if we had any packing tape, and I was like, yeah, we have them in a few places. I was like, what size are you looking for? And he was like, well, just I need to tape this. And I was like, well, if you don't mind, I could just use some of the tape that's over here. He's like, oh no, he's like, I need a roll of it so that I can, you know, open it up and put some more stuff in it and move some stuff around. I was like, okay. Well, I walked him over to where the tape was, and he was like, I'm really not trying to be a problem. And I was like, yeah, no, not at all. And I walked over back to the register, and he came over, and he got that thing of tape, and he was like, I didn't mean to make you go through all of that just to walk away. And I was like, no, I was just like, no, that's fine. He's like, well, I just seem to be a hassle to you. And I was like, no. I was, I was just like, no. I was like, what was he? I was like, was he trying to be a hassle? I was like, if he was trying, he was failing. I mean, I'm just saying, he was horribly, horribly failing at trying to be a hassle to me. I mean, there are people who go above and beyond to be a hassle to me, and it just is minor little, yeah, okay, whatever. So, if he was trying, he superbly was failing at it. I'm sorry, I know, but yeah. And I went through my whole spiel. We have these little donation boxes that are like, it has 19 items in it, like 2 markers, well, 4 markers actually. 2 of them are dry eraser, and then 2 of them are Sharpies. And then there's a few pencils, glue sticks, some glue, in this like pack. It's like 19 pieces of supplies, and it's a nice little way for like these 4 or 5 different companies to throw in some donations and everything. And with Staples, what is that? You buy one, you get one on Staples. So it's pretty nifty. And then, so we didn't know that. We thought that it was supposed to be an app, a scannable app coupon for that that second one. But I sold 21 yesterday, which means that I could have sold, if we knew about that, I could have sold 42. No, what? No, 20, yeah, wait, 40, yeah, because I sold 21, so it would have been 42 that I technically sold. And the highest donation box previously had been like 10 boxes, and that was from another cashier. But like, the first day I only sold 1, and it was towards the end of the day, and people were, grumpy and grouchy because it's the end of the day, and everybody's like, no, I just want to go home, no, blah blah blah. And I was like, all right, I understand. But yesterday I sold 21, and I was like, yay. And the boxes like piling up and everything, and it's great. And then today I sold, how many? 20, I think 20, 21 again. So yay. Like three of them I doubled because of the because I didn't find that little tip out until later, because one of the managers had mentioned to someone else that I had sold this many, and they were like, oh, have they been like doing that? And then he was like, wait, what? And so he had me ring 2 of them up, and it does take 1 of them off right at the register. They didn't need any coupon or anything. I was like, flip, I was like, I could have sold so much more. But it seemed like about the time. Oh, and they're still shooting. So, yeah, I was stuck on the register most of the day. I sold 2 service plans for calculators. Yeah. The small little things. I mean, dude, I guess I am really annoying when trying to sell those. Oh, I got a compliment yesterday that I could be a car salesman, and I was like, eh. But I don't want to sell cars. And, you know, pushing donation little boxes for kids who need it, you know, need school supplies. Yeah, totally. I'm not in the car business, you know, dude. But I was proud of my salesmanship, saleswomanship, just a bit, for a good cause, you know. Oh, looks like a face, doesn't it? Kinda does. Like, if you look at it like that way. Like, maybe one of the eyes are melting down. And oh my goodness, there was this one person who sounded like New Zealand or Aussie or something, and okay, so it was weird because after he would say something, he would mutter something else, and I was like, I was all right, because I was like, you know, have a good night and everything, because it was like 4, 5, and he said something along the lines of, he's like, you two, and then he said, say hello. He's like muttering. I was, what? I was like, what do you, I was like, I don't understand, because whenever he came in, he was like, hey, how you going? How you going? And I was like, I was like, doing fine. How are you? And he's like, not bad at all. And he had muttered something. I couldn't catch it, but I was just like, okay, whatever. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and like, you know, hunt down the customer and say like, hey, tell me what you said, kind of thing. Holy flap, holy flap. Damn it. Okay, fine, we're fine. Oh, flap. Sorry, this is full concentration mode. Full concentration. So, yeah, see, that's fine. That's death. That's fine. That's death. Alright, so, just so people know. Alright, so. And whenever he was like, you know, ringing out stuff and everything, he did get a box. He definitely donated to the kids. But he said something under his breath too. And I was like, what is up with this person? Cause like, I was like, maybe that's their thing. Maybe it's like a weird nervous tick. Maybe it's some sort of programming tactic that isn't working, because it just made me a little aggravated, like, because I couldn't understand what he was saying. didn't make me want to listen more, just made me want to say, excuse me, what? What's going on? But whenever he left and said, say hello, I was like, okay, alright, so I really did hear him muttering things under his breath, like this whole time. I really did. I know I did. I was just like, okay, that's really, really weird. So I'm sitting there trying to figure out what were the things he was saying and why was he saying it. I don't know. Some people do things with their hands, and so anyways, there are quite a few different tactics of manipulation, because I myself have been accused of certain things because I talk with my hands, and they're all like, what the hell are you trying to do to me? And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, you're trying to manipulate me. And I was like, what? So this guy wasn't as paranoid as what he sounds. So he walked me through what certain manipulators do, and I was like, wow, that is fascinating, because not only did I get accused for this, but he walked me through some of them, because his friend had known me and was like, no, she's really not trying to do anything like that. And it's like, of all the people, no, you don't have to worry about her. And I was like, thanks, but I was like, can you walk me through this? And I was like, how is doing this, and like speaking with your hands, how is that a form of manipulation? So, dude, I spent like a half hour talking to this person, and he walked me through a few ways that people try to manipulate, and that kind of double speak is another thing, because it actually takes like maybe weeks, if not days, depending on the person. But it's like what they call a subtle manipulation. I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm not sure if that's what that person was trying to do. I'm not trying to be paranoid, but I was warned about that before. And it's like, I don't believe I'm easily brainwashed, but I do get aggravated when certain signals and stuff are being thrown. Okay, so let's put it this way. Okay, so we all know that there are certain programs out there that are trying to get people more susceptible to certain types of ideas. Okay, trying to make it a part of the norm. All right, by having popular TV shows and certain actors and actresses talking about things, making a part of the normality of certain things. Okay, so when it gets to the point where, hi, free haircuts, thank you. Alrighty, so when it gets to the point where certain things do happen in the news and people are just like so blah that they barely even bat an eye at certain things, you know that they've done their job pretty damn good. And it's like, dude, sorry, give me a second. Okay, so it's not going to despawn on me. Hopefully not. So, there are signals that are playing in the background to help these people push these agendas. So, also with certain commercials and, yeah, pretty much, we'll just say commercials, certain songs will do that to certain people too. Dude, there are certain songs out there that are so flippin' bad. I mean, so flippin' bad. If anyone's even slightly under the influence in certain regards, that these things are gonna be like easy cakewalks kind of things for these people. Yeah, for them to push their, you know, oh, buy this, buy that kind of thing. You want to buy these tickets, you want to, you know, support these brand names. You can't live without these brand names and all this good stuff. And you'll start listening to certain types of music too, which then push more of the same crap. Anyways, so hold on, there's one. Oh, there's two. Okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna hide. Holy flip. Holy flip. No, no. I'm good. I'm good. We're good. Alrighty, so I don't know if that's... Oh, is that the zombie one? No, that's an illager. That is totally an illager. I think he's still there. I think he might still be there. Holy damn! Holy damn! Holy damn! This is sucky. This is sucky. It wouldn't let me. Oh, because I was in super lava. Got it. And that's all my... That is absolutely all of my diamonds. So we're gonna have to mine again. So... yeah. Oh, you know what? We're gonna talk more about this. So if you have one of those nice little TVs that are a box TV, you know how they've been pushing these small thin ones for some time? Oh yeah, we're fighting back right now. So we have this huge box TV that had a nice little dial on it and everything. Whenever they would push these certain signals, it would make this atrocious weaning sound because it wasn't able to push it up to that frequency or down to that frequency, whatever the thing was. And it would give us this nice little indicator of when these signals were going off. And now, I tell you this from one person to another. You notice how people like to wear the same types of colors? Ask them what TV shows they've been watching, because that's another little test that you can do to see. So I noticed that in school, certain people watching certain things would be wearing the same exact colors, even the same exact brand sometimes. So yeah, it's pretty damn interesting, and the psychology of it is pretty off the chain crazy. Just super crazy. So in order to get my nice little stuff, I will have to make a sword again. No, I have a sword. We're good with the sword. I'll take this though. And I'll take that. Oh, forgot the penis. Ooh, there's some of these too. Just take that, swap that out. Yeah, my stuff is not gonna have any, So I tried jumping and putting blocks down below me, and I couldn't even do that. It kind of really sucked. Oh, I have 2 helmets. Whatever. Oh, and I had so much, not copper, but, what the hell is that called? But yeah, so there are reasons why certain people are holding on to certain devices and holding on to certain ways of doing things. Not only is your phone a listening device, but most of the TVs. This right there, even if I didn't have this webcam, would still be able to watch me. It is not facing towards the bed, but there are ways that you can still watch somebody. It's creepy as flip. That's what it is. And the phones can actually still listen to you when you take out the battery, when you flip it and take out, when it's dead, when you turn it off. So just keep that in mind. It's not paranoia. This is how it's designed. It used to be back in the day that if you took out the battery or turned the phone off, no one would be able to hear you. But nowadays they've built little precautions in with this, which is kind of really crazy on their aspect. Because sitting there abusing people's privacy and then not catching the people who are abusing other people's privacy and doing all this horrible stuff, which then they say that this is why they're abusing people's privacy, but yet not taking care of those people. Right. I think it's a super duper abuse of privacy, as well as what is that called? Oh flip! I'm gonna have to go get some more. To go get more wood. Flip. Hopefully this is enough to make a shovel and. Shovel and an axe. Axe. Shovel. Oh, yeah, I need one of those too. I need a boat. I need a flipping boat. Alright. Oh, cool too. I think it's 3 that I need in order to make this bed. Yeah. Okay. So. Phone's bad. Smart TV's bad. Well, if it's abusing privacy, then it's bad, right? Do you like being watched? When you're not doing anything? Alexa's bad. Siri's bad. TomTom's bad. These are all ways of people watching and invading our privacy. All the GPS, even though, you know, I've used them before. I go through Google Map and I look for best routes on how to get to certain places, and then I screenshot them, so I don't have to be there in real time. So, you know, I don't know, it's just, better than being without internet and then having to, getting lost. But see, I'm not important enough to sit there and constantly what is that called? I'd like to say harass, but I can't really say that. So, I do need this. And then did I put more boxes over this way? Hold on, let me change that for a minute. I'm not going in there whenever they can sit there and just annihilate me. Alright, let's just... Yay! Flip yeah! Look at that! There's 4 of them. Yay! I was carrying around a bed too. That is... Alright, alright. Excuse I didn't drink anything either. I'm so fucking tired. Well, I ate and then I didn't drink anything. I was just like, oh, I'm finished eating, so let me just grab my controller and head in. I still need to get that very corner too. And that smidge down there. I'm not getting that smidge. Flip that. Flip it to holy hell. Flip it to heinous heaven. So, you don't want to know. Yes, please. Damn it. Alright. So, not digging myself holes. Regular wood. Looking for regular wood. There's some. I'm very, very fascinated in social structures and evolution and how people have learned and evolved, both psychologically as well as even with the inhibitors that certain people are putting on the species. Like, okay, let's say peer pressures. That's an inhibitor. People sitting there promoting sex, violence, drugs, other stuff. Flip. There's something that's like super, super important, but I just can't flip and remember what the hell it's called. I hate that. I hate that. That'll probably get me in trouble, but anyways, I'm fascinated with how civilizations used to live then versus how they're living now, and how certain things were okay then. Oh, that could have been bad for that birdie. Certain things were okay then, but they're absolutely positively atrocious now. I mean, they're like, you would end up going on a rampage just to take out these types of people. That's how bad certain things were back then, but yet it was supposed to be social norms. The abuse of people has been going on for centuries upon centuries. And I'd like to see it actually get better and people not abuse each other. But, you know, hey, what am I supposed to do? Turn into a control freak like everyone else? No, I'll pass. I will certainly pass. Because I am not everyone's mama, and I'm not here to take care of everyone. He has something I want. Well, if he decides to attack me, then I will attack back, but other than that, I'm not gonna go steal his crap. I know we're playing a video game, and that's pretty much the extent of, ooh, hey, look at that, I need that. I lost my flippin' feather thing. Sorry, I just needed a minute. Well, I'll make a new one. So, gonna take this, move that. That's all sheepy. Hey sheepy, how do I? Okay, sharing you. So, as I was saying, social structures, inhibitors, such as chemicals, birthing defects because of the chemicals, birthing defects because of certain frequencies, peer pressure, manipulations, people prioritizing things that don't matter because they've been manipulated to believe that they do matter and that they're not important enough unless they have this or that brand on their butt, their face, or their feet. I don't understand it. It's like, dude, if what you're wearing is comfortable and you feel comfortable in it, I don't give a flying flip if the Pope himself made it, because I don't like the Pope. So, I don't like a lot of the religious icons. that they have going on and about and whatnot. Unless they're actually trying to do something for their people, they pretty much aren't worth a damn or a lick of sense to even have around you. Because these people who are vying for power, but yet they're not actually helping anybody when they are in power, this in itself is a conundrum and a complication to the very aspect of wanting to be in power. Is it always to want to control others? I mean, if you put two and two together, they want to feel important, okay? I understand that. Everyone has a necessity to feel needed, important, relevant, worthy. But where exactly does it start and where does it stop? When does your importance actually mean anything? Free haircut. Thank you. So, now, if I make somebody's life a little bit easier, I feel good about it. I'm like, yeah, flip, yeah. I did something to relieve a burden, some sort of pain. What is that called? What? Flip. It's okay. I'm not trying to say gratifying, but for some reason that's the only flippin' word that keeps popping in my head. It's okay. It does make me feel a little bit better. Not about myself because I need to prove anything to anybody. It's just I feel the appreciation and I'm like, wow, you know, I'm glad, I'm happy to help, you know, kind of moment. But I'm not sitting there going like, oh, bow down and worship because of what I did and blah blah blah, you know. I'm really not like that. And I don't understand why people do get to that point where they're like, no, bow down and worship because I wear this hat. It's like, okay, I'm glad you like that hat, but you haven't done anything for me or mine, so I do not see your relevance. Because, okay, so just like beauty is what is that called? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. There is value is in, you know, the eye of the beholder too. Value is subjective. Just because one person is important to like all these other people doesn't mean they're important to you. Like certain people put actors, people who lie for a living, that pretty much they do, in like these higher regards, like they're some sort of things to worship. Dude, I respect them for the job that they actually do. It's like, dude, you have blasting lights on you all flippin' day or morning. You have to do the same damn lines over and over and over again just because some idiot messes up one take after another, or somebody doesn't remember their lines, and then you sit there and have to sit there and repeat your lines that you sat there and learned a bazillion times because this person can't remember that they're supposed to be on stage right or look left after this. It's like, dude, for real? For real? I mean, there are practices for a reason. there's a reason why they give these people the script months in advance, so they can become more familiar with the damn script, so they can learn their lines, and then they can practice their performance till they get it to the point where they are happy with their performance. It's let's see, not just aggravating, but it is really disconcerting when people are in these jobs, in these positions. That looks like a flippin'... Hold on, I gotta go down there. It is not. No. That looked like a treasure thing. What was it? But anyways. So, I do appreciate them for their struggle and the ones that actually do learn their lines and do their craft well. When they make you believe that they are this person that they're trying to reenact to become, so that they're giving you a better experience with your viewing entertainment and whatnot, that is pretty fantastic. There have only been a few actors in the existence of acting that have impressed me. I mean, like, dude, they can be every and any character, and you would still believe that's them. I mean, like, it's that character. They embody that character. It's like, dude, there are fewer actresses than there are actors who can actually do that. From what I understand, certain actresses try to make the character more like them. They try to put their own appeal to it. And it's like, no, that's not what acting is about. Acting is trying to become that character to get... What the flip? You punk. Anyways, is trying to become that character, and you're trying to engage the audience in a storytelling like there has never been a storytelling before. Like, you are, it's pretty much a play, you know? It's a story that's come to life, you know, to action and whatnot. And now, for storytellers, they have a huge responsibility to, one, keep the audience entertained, engaged, and to play with their emotions while they're engaged and entertained. So, if there's a sad scene, everybody's just like, whatever, it's not me, then they haven't done their job right. If there's a sad scene, and you're sitting there like damn near crying, but you're the toughest little thing in all the tough little things, they've done their job. Like, dude, they spectacular. Like, I can't watch sad things because I find too much relatable, and I'm just like, ooh, no, I no like it. But yeah, and like for these villains, dude, some of them can be spot on, like super, like you hate this flippin' actor just because they were this villain, but yet they're a pretty fantastic, nice person. You know, they took their acting so flippin' well their job so well that you hate them as this character, and you question their very why they even exist, because like they were such a horrible person, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's part storyteller, part actor right there. It's like, dude. I'll probably need one of these too. It is way faster with the off the boat. I don't know. They're putting that weird water dilemma thing on there. Water limitation. It's like, you know how like when you're underwater and you can't mine things well? They have that whenever you're in the boat. Sucks. Really sucks. But anyways. So yeah, storytellers, fantastic. People have been... Yes, gaming is like a storytelling too. Holy damn. I was getting into it. So, like with this, I didn't even know there was a story to this. And I was told that there were little playthroughs and everything where it's like story mode. And I'm like, really? I haven't played any of them, but I am fascinated by it. Holy damn. I didn't like the fact that you had to, oh damn. Oh damn. I didn't like the fact that you had to watch your pig get sacrificed and whatnot. It turned into little pork chops. And, they were like... Everyone was talking about how they cried during that, and I was like... Wait, what? And someone tried to explain, like, what had happened. And I was like, wait, there's a story? And they're like, yeah, of course there's a story. And I was like, I thought it was just like a creative game and blah blah blah. I did this or did that with it. I know I'm jumping all over the place. I do apologize. Without someone to actually keep a conversation with, it's just thoughts more in my head, and then I'm like, okay, oh yeah, I gotta mention this too. Oh yeah, I gotta do this too. So. I don't know, I'm a little worried about that. Just a lot worried. Just a lot worried. Alrighty, so. That looks like something down there. Nope, cavern. I'm good. I have to not build any villages in this one. I can't build any villages. I'm not gonna build any villages. I'm gonna try not to build any villages. I might build a little town. But I won't build any villages. I swear. I won't put a wall around it. A wall. I can't promise about a fence. That they can get in and out on several different ways. That's not going to keep them safe from the, what the hell are those called? Raids. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it open for that. That pizza was so amazing. So someone named Derek made my pizza. Or is the manager of the store that made my pizza. I don't know. But they said that Derek was making my pizza. When, like, this little app thing. It was like, dude, I had to order it online. It was delicious. I was recommended Tinder. So I was supposed to have my lunch after an associate because I came in next, okay? But another associate had asked if she could have her lunch first, and then the manager was like, well, he was like, you could fight to the death. Well, they were like, rock, scissor, papers. You can fight to the death. And she's like, well, do you want to die? And I was like, no, not really. I was hoping to find love first, you know. And she's like, oh, you'll find it. It's out there. And I was like, oh, I know. I was like, I just have to dig through all the needles first, you know. And sorry, is a bad Saw reference, but it, okay, so, I don't want to see this because then I will insult certain members of a gender, but I'm not trying to insult anyone, so what I mean by that is that there are a lot of pricks out there, a lot of people who are selfish and self-serving and everything, and that they're not even capable of being in a relationship out there. When I'm saying, like, I have to, you know, sort through all the needles first, okay? So that's what I mean by that, pricks. And, just to find, you know, someone who's not trying to attack or what is that called? Just wants you for a certain like thing and then drop you the next day. You know, I'm not into that. And they were like, well, you could try Tinder, and I was like, no. I was like, no. I was like, never. So if you see this on Tinder, it's probably a mock account because I will never, ever, 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 ever be caught alive or dead on Tinder. Because for one, I am way too shy. And for two, I need an emotional connection before I even think about anything like that. And I was like, I'm gonna rely on serendipity, you know? that whole spontaneous in the moment kind of meeting, like where people meet each other face to face. You know, hey, it could happen. It could happen. You know, maybe a conversation sparks and then interest ignites, you know? Something like that. Maybe I'm a little old school, but, you know, this is what I'm gonna rely on. So, yeah. I'm not gonna, and they were like, oh, and then there's Bumblebee and Meet.com, and I was like, what, Meet? And they're all like, yeah, it was like for MEET, not MEAT, because I thought it was another like porn site. I was like, what? I'm sorry. Tinder is very much a porn site. Don't sit there and tell me that it's not, because it totally is. It is a hookup site, and it is a marvel that anyone finds anyone on Tinder. I mean, one of the associates that I was talking to about this said it was like bargain bin diving, or, you know, the clearance section. And I was like, wow. Because, like, the other associate had met her significant other on Tinder. And I think, yeah, they keep saying they swiped right. So, I'm just like, okay. Alright, you know, hey. I was like, they are so cute together. They're so flippin' sweet and cute, and it's just like, no, it doesn't make you nauseous. It makes you just go, aww, you know. I like to have somebody that I could relate to on that kind of level, kind of moment. I don't want their relationship, not in the slightest, but it is cute watching them interact with one another and having that common bond. You know, it's like, aww. That is flippin' amazing. Is that a baby goat? Wow, you are so cute. Alright, so. That one just has one horn. It really just has one horn. It's a unicorn! Unicorn. Unicorn. Alright, so. So, conspiracy theory laid to rest. The unicornus in the Bible and whatnot was actually a rhino with one horn, because there were two different species of rhinoceros. There was the unicornus and the bicornus, something like that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty nifty. But I still believe that there are or were certain types of species of horse-like creatures that had horns, if not a few, then one. You know, mutations and whatnot. It's always fun to see. Well, I mean, not the bad ones that the animal can't survive with, but the mutations that prolong the species and end up becoming a new species. That's always interesting. But it is nighttime. It's totally nighttime. No, I haven't read the Bible. I started reading it and I was like, damn, this is such a program. So I have this thing with reading books backwards first, and not always. I learned that from a certain book that you had to read in a certain type of way, and it was to keep you... Okay. This book was a type of experiment to see if people would follow along with the book the right way. And if you just went through it and read it from page cover to page, to page ending and everything, front to book to back, you would get so lost you wouldn't even understand what the hell was going on. But you needed the teacher in order to tell you what chapter to read next, because the chapters would go crazy. So you would start off on chapter 1, and then you'd have to go to chapter 22 for the second chapter, and then you would go to chapter 30, and then you would go back to chapter 3. It was weird. And then you'd go all the way to chapter, I think there were like 50 chapters in there. You would go to like the very last bit of the book, and that would be like the 4th chapter, and then it was the craziest book. So I was like, alright, let's see what the ending of the Bible is, So I was given this Bible because I needed to learn it, and the person who gave it to me was so happy that I was going to read her religion and everything and actually take it serious. It's not that I didn't take it seriously to begin with. I just mentioned what I do know about it, and this perturbed her to the point where she really, 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 really didn't like me. Because from what I saw of Christians, that was not what she was saying that Christians do. Alright, so the Christians I've met have not been very nice people, and they think that everything they do, as long as they go to church, is going to be wiped away. That is all going to be forgiven, and there's not going to be any repercussions, because a person had died for their sins. And I was like, he died once for all of the sins of those people. I mean, does that mean that he's adding up all of these other sins? Every single sin throughout time? That is horrible. That is legit horrible. I was like, no. Give me all of my sins. I'm not gonna burden this nice person with my flippin' sins. I was like, flip that. No. I was like, screw that. I was like, if this poor guy is still sitting there taking everybody's sins, what kind of monsters are these people? Why would they keep burdening this person? Okay, I mean, like, think of it this way. He died, okay? He died so that people could, have another chance, right? Alright? So, why is it that they're still abusing him by committing these things that they know are sins over and over and over and over and over again? And then sitting there going to church and confessing these sins so that they can be forgiven for these sins, even though they knew that these things were sins to begin with. Now, if it were to the point where it's a complaint department, no, just get me, just let me finish, okay? So, if it works to the point where it's a complaint department, and these sins are just adding and adding and adding and adding up, holy F is this person going to have to go through a whole hell of a lot of crazy crap just to try to keep himself over the I'm sorry, just from being overwhelmed by all of the crap he has to do just to stay afloat in the land of karma. You know, dude. Okay, so I'm heavily believing I believe heavily that if you do something bad is going to happen. If you do something good is going to happen. That is the basic principles of karma. Everything is being added up. Just because you haven't had anything bad happen to you yet, if you're a bad person, something bad will happen to you. Okay? So, now with this person taking all of these people's sins, and that he had died for their sins so that they could live a better life, it just infuriates me. I'm just like, no. I'm like, flip that. And then I was like, when I told her, I was like, no. I was like, no, I will keep my sins, thank you. And they're like, oh, but you're insulting him. And I was like, what? I was like, how can I be insulting him by not burdening him with my sins? And they were like, I know you mean well. Well, someone else had jumped into the conversation. But he has already died for your sins. And I was like, so he went about dying for my sins before he even knew me? I was like, how would he have known if I was going to be a good or a bad person? You know, why would he even care about people who weren't even born yet? And I was told, you know, I know you mean well, but he's already died for your sins. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, I will not burden another person with my sins. I was like, no. I'm not gonna do that. Flip that. I was like, if I did something wrong, please tell me I did something wrong. Teach me how to do something right. And they're like, well, we're trying to. I was like, you have no say so in what is good and wrong if you're sitting there pushing your sins on some person who is willing to sacrifice themselves just so that you can have a more peaceful life. I was like, you have no reason or way to sit there and tell people what is right and wrong when you're doing a horrible thing. And they're like, I mean, they got kind of livid with me. And I was like, but you're doing it. And they were like, it's already been done. And I was like, so how often do you sin? And they're like, oh, well, they forgive the sins. And I was like, so you're adding on to the tally. And they were like, no, it doesn't work that way. I was like, so I was like, so who's gonna pay for the sins that yins have already done? And they were like, this person. And I was like, okay. So don't get me wrong. He's dead, right? And they were like, yeah, it's been quite some time since he's been alive. And I was like, okay. So how is he still paying for everyone's sins? They couldn't answer that, and they got angry. So I was given a Bible to read, and I sat there and I was like, okay, maybe this actually might have some useful information in it. I'm not at liberty to say certain things that I feel about the Bible, other than it is a programming tool used to and designed to push agendas that they don't even fully what is that called? They don't fully understand. And all of these other stories that they've put into the Bible were in other religions far before Christianity even was a thing. I'm just saying, there are so many stories that I've been told from these other relics of the past that are somehow in the Bible. And I'm like, okay. And then, like, it's coming out that, like, there were aliens in the Bible, in the Enoch thing. But see, that part was omitted by certain things. I'm saying things because they were people looking to push certain agendas and make it so, let's say, bad people could roll over good people, and the church had more say-so, as well as the religious orders and blah blah blah. What are they? Kings and queens and noblemen and blah blah blah. More people pushing agendas from... Okay, so not everyone's stupid, and people are more often trying to live and let live than they are trying to overpower one another just to... what is that called? I need like 2 spaces just so I can lay this bed down. Where the hell did my bed go? Flip. Okay, trying to think about how to say this properly. Okay, I'm gonna dumb it down. Bad people trying to rule other people because they feel like it gives them power. Doesn't give them power, not in the sense of actual real power. It just makes them feel important and relevant and yada yada yada. So, most of the religions are ways to put a thumb over people, which means like try to rule them by saying, oh, you're going to suffer insane consequences because of this or that. And I'm not going to sit there and say that if certain people do, or if certain people do get their hands on you, you're gonna wish that there were hells, you know, that were so nice. But, you know, hey, I've done a lot of research on certain types of hells, and the ones where they had those pyramid-like things that they put people on, holy F. I had nightmares about that a little bit. Just a little bit. I was like, holy flip. I was like, that's some crazy sick crap. And I was like, and what was that for? And that punishment was for not believing in the religion. I was like, how can you punish someone for not believing in a religion? I was like, that's so flippin' stupid. But anyways, and there were like punishments for adultery, like punishments for envying your neighbor, and I was like, why would someone get, isn't that punishment enough that you're envying your neighbor because your neighbor's doing well. I mean, I was like, wait a minute, do I still have my boat? Oh damn. Oh damn. How am I not over the water? That's crazy. Okay, so anyways, not to send people into nightmare mode. You know, do right by others. Don't be a selfish prick. Do right by others. Don't bend over backwards because you don't have to. If you see someone in need, try to help out. If you can't help out, you know, you can't. I mean, dude. It's like, if you can go through your life without stepping on someone to get your happiness, you're doing great. You're doing fantastic. It's like, if you're not abusing somebody, you're not, what is that called? If you're not abusing someone, you're not manipulating them, you're not forcing them to do anything, nobody's gonna F with you. At least, you know, certain people that can do a lot of damage aren't going to F with you. Because you haven't F'd with anyone else. When it gets to the point where those people are allowed to do stuff to you, yeah, nobody's gonna stop them. I tell you what. Oh, it's so cute, they're rolling. They look like they're having fun. I hate to stop them in their roll, but oh, look at them. That's so cute. I didn't want them to be stuck. It's not that much of an eyesore, is it? Oh, I need to get off here. I have stuff to do tomorrow. I gotta do my taxes. I gotta flip in... What is that called? I have to pay my rent, too. That's like the first thing I need to do is pay my rent. Post office will be open tomorrow. So I gotta definitely pay my rent, and then, it's the 28th, you know. I was going to pay it Saturday, but then they scheduled me to work, and then they were, I'm not trying to say that they were throwing a hissy fit, but I was like, hey, if I can get a ride, I'll come in. I did. I got a ride, and I did come in. Okay, I have a feather. Oh, it's a bar. Mm. Yeah. I don't really follow any type of religion from here, at least. We'll just say that I'm really old school in the sense of I'm not following any known or modern forms of religion. I don't sacrifice anything to anyone. I don't worship anyone. I don't need that type of security blanket. So, I do know that there's a lot of things that could squish me like a bug out there. There's a lot of things that could think about me in a certain way, and I just go poof, gone, bye-bye. There's OP creatures all over the damn place. There's things that are like itty-bitty tiny things that get pissed off and they wreck your whole system up. But what can I do? I'm living with the best I can. And my body's dealing with me as we go. So, it is time to go. I'm sure that the people in this apartment are tired of hearing me blabber on about religions and how I don't follow them. So I'm gonna go. Bye bye.